know.
What? John Miller on the call. Hello and welcome to Team Profile and Projections on Talkin Baseball, presented to you by T-Mobile. Top half Trev. We're here. The final 15. That's all they talk about this time of year. And Trev, the teams are juicy. I think we're into some actual World Series aspirations, question mark. And some teams that are probably going to be the most exciting topics of this 2026 season. How are you doing, Coach Trev?
Coach, we don't talk about World Series. We just want to get in the dance and see what happens.
Right. It's all luck.
Loser mentality.
The playoffs are all luck except the Dodgers the past 2 years and the Astros the 8 years before that. Otherwise, it's just straight up luck.
I know a lot about the playoffs.
We're coming out swinging today. Get ready, people. And I think probably the reason we're going to F and F or we're H'd up, the first team we are talking about today, the San Francisco Giants. Last year, middle, 81 and 81. The bullpen was there. Some defensive numbers liked them. Offense ended up middle of the pack runs-wise, but below everything else. We know who's at the top of their rotation. There's a new person in charge, which is going to be one of our most talked managers this year, I suppose. Who they lost? Justin Verlander turned it on in those Reeboks. He gone. Your guy, Kai Tang, he's in Houston now. Mason Black, Kansas City. Tom Smith actually knocked the ball around the yard for them a little bit. Wilmer Flores, who had become a staple. Joey Lucchesi always ends up throwing the pill somewhere. And Tom Murphy, they are all out of town. Who's new in San Francisco, Trev?
They added some, I think, really important pieces here, Jake. And I will say this about Buster Posey. I think he's more old school than new school. Yeah. That's just my opinion. They brought in Adrian Hauser, for a little starting pitching depth here. 2 years, 22, spent last year with Chicago and Tampa Bay. One of my favorite guys in the show right now, Harrison Bader. Never seen you two in the same room together, so that's interesting. 2 years, 20 and a half. He was with the Twins and the Phillies last year. Just a great addition to play center field for them. I love that. A lot of teams should have done that. Luis Arraez, maybe the most polarizing kind of figure of the offseason. Some people love this guy. Some people hate this guy. I think he's a fine piece, and that's where everyone should land. 1 year, 12 for him. He was in San Diego. You know about Luis Arraez if you're watching the show. Tyler Mahle, another guy for the starting pitching depth there. 1 year, 10. Comes over from Texas. Jason Foley, he's on the IL right now. Didn't pitch last year, but 1 year, 2 for him. Sam Hentges, 1 year, 1.4. Again, did not play last year. And then Will Brennan came over, Jake. Split contract, so not a guarantee. He was in Cleveland last year. Some of the minor league deals we can talk about: Gregory Santos, Michael Fulmer, Eric Haas. So there's some guys there. That's the crux of who they added. Now let's get to this lineup. And I'm looking, and I'm liking.
Yeah,
I am. Luis Arraez at the top. This is, of course, according to Fangraphs here. Rafael Devers, pretty good player over there at first base. Willie Adames, Matt Chapman, Jung-Hoo Lee, who's moving positions as Harrison Bader takes over center field. He'll be in right field. Elliot Ramos out there in left. Harry in center. We'll see if Bryce Eldridge is the guy at DH. I think he should be. Giants fans, let us know. And then Patrick Bailey there behind the dish. The bench, Daniel Susac, Gerard Encarnacion, Casey Smith, Luis Matos, also Christian Koss fighting for a job there. Tyler Fitzgerald trying to hang on. Luis Matos, and the aforementioned Will Brennan. Also, Drew Gilbert, who we love. He's hurt right now, but he'll be on the team at some point. Tell us about that rotation and bullpen, though. Pop.
I get a little choked up thinking about Drew Gilbert. Top of the rotation, it's Logan Webb. Come on. Respect Logan Webb even more. I hope big WBC coming up, hopefully, because he deserves some more respect. Robbie Rye, don't cross him. Tyler Molly. Adrian Hauser, Senor Puke. Landon Root, okay, why not? Hayden, show me your bird song. Carson Seymour, Blade Tidwell, and Carson Wisenhut looking at their starting pitching depth. In that bullpen, Ryan Walker is kind of taken over back there. Eric Miller from the left side, Peguero, Jose Budo, Gregory Santos, Spencer Bivens, JT Brubaker, I remember. And then you mentioned a couple of those guys hopefully coming back. Henches, Foley at some point, and some of those starting pitching depth pieces, Keaton Wynn, Tristan Beck as well. Your guy Honeywell getting a look. Coach Trev, this is, I think for you and me, this is one of the more fun teams this year because it hits every buzz point. We've got a former star player of the organization, Hall of Fame type guy who's taken over the keys. He's gone out. They brought in ball players. Sometimes we get caught up in B war, F war, and some of the they brought in ball players. Hey, if you're going to make an argument against Arise or maybe Devers defensively, I think someone like Harrison Bader could come back at you this way, that wherever you look on the diamond, I guess that's the part for me, Trev. Right now, it feels cool. It doesn't feel cohesive to me. Is that overthinking it?
I like the roster, Jake, but the problem is I've liked the roster the last couple of years, and since 2022, they've just been a 500 team.
Yeah.
And they've tried like a lot of different things, brought in some big name free agents, tried to plug holes, made big trades, but it just hasn't worked out. And I don't know. I think every year there's something a little bit different. But on paper, this is a very, very good roster, and they did fill some holes that they needed to fill through free agency. It's just they have to go get the job done, and that's terrible analysis, but that's what it is. I mean, maybe I look at this. Okay. Maybe I look at the starting pitching and I'm like, there's no velo there necessarily. Oh. There's some good pitchers there. There's some good pitchers. There's depth. But there's not a lot of velo in the starting rotation. If I'm a team that's going up against them, I feel pretty comfortable. I know how good Logan Webb is, but there's nobody there that I'm necessarily like, oh shit, like the stuff is overwhelming. Is that what's going on? Kind of middle of the pack last year for them, 14th ERA, 12th in WHIP. They got some guys in the bullpen that throw gas. So there is that, but to me, they're one of those teams that's kind of an enigma. Like they should be better than they've played.
Yeah, I feel like they have a lot of streaky players that I always wonder what that means. Like a classic baseball broadcast thing is like, you need two hitters hot at the same time, and that's enough for the lineup. I don't know how true that is. I haven't heard any of the nerds in an endearing way talk about that. But I've seen Devers get hotter than anyone in baseball. Adames is the same way. Chapman, I mean, he has some months that are all over the board that, I wonder how that syncs up together. And I guess where I'm getting thrown off is it's like, okay, give me the guys on the Giants who are hitters. It's like, okay, Devers, Adames, Chapman, Lee, Ramos, Arise, obviously. And that's a big group. Give me the guys who play defense. Adames, Chapman, Lee in right field, Bader, that I don't know. I guess, and this has been the Giants' conundrum, and I like that you brought it to the pitching staff because even Logan Webb being who he is, you're like, I'm going to get sawed off today. Although his strikeout number, everything is improved with Logan Webb, even though he's not
included in that. Yeah. I'm just
I guess you can picture the world where the lineup and the defense, it comes together and all works, although I have my questions about Arise staying at second base all year. You would turn to the pitching, and the teams we just went through when we did teams 16 through 20 in the fan rankings, if you're comparing the Royals, the Texas Rangers, even the Guardians. Like, I think you can dream on that pitching staff a little more, where maybe you're right. Like, Logan Webb does so much of the work.
I mean, it really hasn't been necessarily their problem though. Like they can pitch. It's the offense, especially last year, was the problem. It's why they, what were they? 17th in runs, 22nd in OPS. Like, it just didn't get the job done. Streaky, yes. And did they necessarily address that? Like, not really. Like, Bader can get hot. I think he's another one of those guys that's probably going to be streaky for them. Like, there are times that guy can carry an offense, but other times probably not. He is going to give you a nice center field defense where they did struggle last year. Jung-Hoo Lee hopefully will be better out there in right field. Luis Ariz is going to get your knocks. But overall, I think that's where they need to step up the most. We need to be, if you want to say a couple of guys get hot at the same time, just more consistency out of the offense. I think we'll do. I mean, if that comes together, we have a more consistent offense. The defense, I think, will be. It's something to watch for. There's no doubt about that. I think they will improve their outfield defense, and we will see what happens over there on the right side. They got Ron Washington working with everybody. That means something, people. It's the offense that needs to step it up if this team wants to get back into, that playoff mode.
Tony Vitello, new manager. We've done a ton on it. Came over from Tennessee, college ranks. It's a totally different sport down there sometime, and that's where, opened up his spring training with an interesting way to talk to the media. Buster Posey clearly believe, like, everything we're complimenting Posey on, like getting guys we look at and we say there's ball players. They brought him in. I don't want to say this because you could say this for every team in these part of the rankings. Like, if they get off to a good start, like, yeah, it's a baseball season. But my God, man, I mean, this, I guess where are you right now? Like, we're past the initial quotes. We're past the off season's done. These are the Giants. Is it maybe we just thought about it too much, or do we still have like big question marks about how this is going to feel?
I don't think it's going to matter. Like, okay. My stance on managers, like, until the playoffs, it's not a lot that's going on. Like, he's going to address the media, which, failed the first day. Fine. Like, he'll be, it happens.
0 for 4, couple crown outs.
So, look, every time I say something about this guy, I get texts from people that I really respect around the game that say he's a good dude. Like, you're going to love him. So, like, let's give him his chance there. Again, during the regular season, how many moves does this guy have to make? I mean, they don't have a lot of position battles. Like, he doesn't have a lot of decisions to make. That's for sure. So, in-game situations, like, he's going to go by the book. He's got veteran coaching staff around him that's going to help him. I don't think it's going to matter much in the playoffs. Sure, that's when managers get tested. That's when things, what gets a little tight. But they got to get there first, Coach.
Hey, and two guys that I don't want to say we left out on the way through, but I'm going through my head and thinking about during the Royals hype session. It's like, hey, if Jack Caglione's a guy, which every roster has kind of one, not necessarily one guy like that. Bryce Eldridge is of that ilk, man. We heard about this dude. Top 20 prospect on some lists. If the light bulb goes on for him, like, again, that could obviously change their outlook. And the other thing I'll point to, I believe in catchers. Patrick Bailey is beloved by that fan base. You look at the stats every year, and defensively, like, you won't find a prettier mixtape. That, God, if he could be a league average guy, and Giants fans don't even care. They talk about his clutch stats, which, that's obviously going to fire us up. But you can't have the final offensive stats land there, in my opinion. But we will see. The pitching, Tyler Mahle.
Trevor McDonald, slider guy.
Oh, bang him.
I love my Trevors. He bangs it up there. It's kind of like tight. It's not like a big one, a little tighter.
Huh. Before we get sometime, where are you at with the name Trevor? I had someone, I don't want to dox my friend. Someone said they don't like the name Trevor the other day, and I've never even thought of it as a dislikable name. It's your name.
Yeah, I mean, I don't love my name.
Okay.
I don't love it. I think it's not like super unique, but you don't know a lot of Trevors. So, like, I feel like they kind of like, if you know one, you have an opinion on it. If that makes sense. Matthew or Matt, you know a lot of Matt, so it's all jumbled up. But I feel like there's not a lot of Trevors out there, so when you know one, you know one. I'm sure a lot of people associate the name with me, and they're like, that's the coolest.
Right. Each
MF
Trevor
around.
I like that. Each Trevor leaves their own mark. Not the name mark. The over-under win total for the San Francisco Giants is 80.5. So middle.
Can I read you the records over the last couple of years?
Please.
Last year, 81 and 81. 2024, 80 and 82. 2023, 79 and 83. 2022, 81 and 81. And then 2021, 107 and 55.
If you just add that one to the mix, the past 5 years have been awesome. That's all you need to do.
They have been straight up a middle of the road team for the last 4 years.
Now that catcher runs the team. I know what my heart wants to do. 80.5. So they hit 500 or better gets you there.
Want to go together?
I kind of need a second because in my head I thought I was over, but I might need more of a talk. Okay. 3, 2, 1.
Under. Yeah.
Fuck. I don't like that.
I don't really want to, and maybe I'm just misguided about this, but inconsistencies in the offense. I don't really love the pitching staff.
I'm flipping. I'm insta flip.
Why?
Give me the over.
My name's Trevor?
Because your name's Trevor. I believe in the talent. I really do. I want to. I was picking the under there because it does feel close, and we're struggling to find those because we get caught up in it. But I do believe in this. Like, I think Rafael Devers hasn't had his best season as an MLB player, which some people might think that's kind of crazy. And again, ballpark factor might not help him there. But like, a little motivation, the first base, like, this can work. I think Luis Ariz is a good baseball player. He can win every at-bat against any pitcher, and you can't say that about a lot of hitters in this league. This can work.
Can I say this to Giants fans? Please. I am rooting for the Giants. There's a lot of guys on this team that I really like. Me and Matt Chapman text quite frequently, if you must know.
Wow.
It's one of my favorite things about my life. I'm rooting for you. I'm just picking you to not win 81 games.
It'll be 80. It's kind of worse.
It's probably going to go over. I don't love the under. I'm sticking with the under. It's a tough one.
That was a tough one. I mean, middle. We're at 15th here.
Oh my gosh.
Right?
15. They've been mid. Our listeners, you crushed it.
They nailed it. The other thing that nails it is MLB The Show. People, if you're listening to this, there's a good chance you already play. If you haven't, go check out MLB The Show. 2026, it's almost here, and the World Baseball Classic is back. Take on real-life World Baseball Classic teams from all over the world with your Diamond Dynasty squad in the online mode. Step up to the plate in brand-new World Baseball Classic ballparks, including the Tokyo Dome and Estadio Hiram Bythorn in Puerto Rico. Additional 2026 game features include Road to the Show, Road to Cooperstown, the Negroes Leagues mode, and Season 4 and upgraded franchise mode experience. New legends every year. Albert Pujols, Felix Hernandez, Dustin Pedroia, Andrew Jones, and more. Pre-order now. Available March 17th on PlayStation 5, Xbox Series S and X, and the Nintendo Switch. Rated E for everyone. Trevor at 14th. It is getting saucy. The Houston Astros, 87 and 75 last year, which felt like a down year. It was kind of a down year for the offense. Middle of the pack OPS-wise, 21st in runs scored. We know they missed Big Yordan last year. They were really good in one-run games. The relief pitching was there. We still know a lot of these names and faces in H-Town, but it is every year we drift further and further away from that Houston franchise we got familiar with. And one of them, Framber Valdez, is in Detroit. Saw the first image of him wearing that Tiger Spring Training uni. That threw me off. Victor Caratini got picked up by Minnesota. We already talked about that. Mauricio Dubon had kind of been a staple of that team. Jesus Sanchez, swing speed. He's in Toronto. Jacob Melton in Tampa. Those guys got traded away. Craig Kimbrell. Chas McCormick had been there for a minute. Brendan Rodgers. Luis Garcia. So a lot of guys out, Coach Trev. Who's in?
They brought in some interesting names. Tetsuya Amai comes over from the NPB. We heard a lot about this guy. We heard some funny stuff about him. Ends up signing a 3-year, $54 million deal. Here's his stats last year. 24 games started, 163.2 to a 1.92 ERA, 178 Ks. Okay. I can't wait to see this guy pitch in the big leagues. I can't wait. He seems like a ton of fun. I'm going to be rooting for him. Ryan Weiss comes over from the KBO. So a couple guys coming over the Pacific to pitch. Last year, 178 innings for him to a 2.87. He got 1 year, 2.6. Nate Pearson, remember him with the Blue Jays? And we were like, this guy's going to be incredible. He was with the Cubs last year, 1 year, 1.35. He's a reliever. A couple guys in trays that I think are going to have big impacts on the season. Mike Burrows. I was just watching a lot of video on him. Love him.
Wow. Love him.
Good change piece. He throws the ball pretty damn hard. Good ride on that fastball. He came over in the 3-team trade from Pittsburgh. Nick Allen comes over, utility infielder, shortstop, glove first type of guy. Joey Loperfido comes back to the organization. He comes over from Toronto, originally with Houston, so he comes back. He'll be in the outfield. And then Kaiwan Tang. You mentioned him.
Yeah.
Last year with the Giants comes over. Kevin Biggio on a minor league deal. Peter Lambert. And then how about Dalt just erased the guy I was about to talk about.
Wow.
Just right from the sheet right in front of me. That's who they brought in, Jake. Let's get to that lineup because it's an interesting one. Almost not enough spots to go around depending on what they decide to do. Led by Jeremy Pena, who's just kind of becoming a superstar. Yordan, Fangraphs has him listed as the DH, although they're talking they want him in left field because it opens up a spot for one of these other guys. Altuve's been working pretty much exclusively at second base. Good to see him back there. My guy, Carlos Correa, at third base. Christian Walker at first. Joey Loperfido. Yainer Diaz behind the plate. Zach Cole, a guy they traded for last year in right field. And then Jake Myers. You notice I didn't say one guy's name in that starting lineup. And it's Isaac Paredes. Yordan playing left field could open up that DH spot for one of him or Christian Walker. We'll see how that goes. Nick Allen, Cesar Salazar, and then Cam Smith is another guy who is going to make or break, I think, a lot of Houston's success or no success this year. That's the lineup. Jake, it's an interesting one. Tell me about the rotation in the bullpen.
Rotation, it's a good time to be a righty, but we got everyone from all over the world. This is like an all WBC team here. Hunter Brown at the top of the rotation. Christian Javier, Tatsuya Imai, the Snapdragon, Lance McCullers. Trev, he's from when you played.
I got a homer off him.
Mike Burrows, like you talked about. Ryan Weiss fighting for some innings down there. They still got the bad man at the back. Josh Hader still does his thing year in, year out. Brian Abreu, Brian King, Enyo de los Santos, Stephen Okert, Nate Pearson, Bennett Sousa, and Roddery. Did he get kicked off the team for Rule 5 in it? No. He's still competing back there. I mentioned my guy Spencer Arrighetti floating around. Is he banged up? You know I love him. So we got some depth pieces there. AJ Bluebaugh. Bluebaugh. Coach Trev, the Houston Astros, the fallen dynasty of baseball. Whoa, click. Where do you start? Let's start with the offense, because like you mentioned, they've got some options there. Like Isaac Paredes was one of the big trade rumor guys this year. He's still there as we record this. Cam Smith, you kind of fell in love with, and then he trailed off last year. That there's a lot of options. It does feel like there's a lot of options that kind of run into each other. And then like we could keep this high and tight and be like, if Yordan plays 150, being Yordan Alvarez, this team makes the playoffs and that's it.
And that's a massive part of this team is Jordan's a top 3 hitter in baseball when he's right. So you need him healthy in the lineup. And I think that is a big decision for them. I mean, I would rather him DH. I understand the logjam kind of opens up if you have him in left field, but you also could get that done by trading somebody. And you have to make that decision there. Christian Walker, I think, is much better than what he showed last year. Isaac Paredes actually had a good year last year. So, you have to decide between basically those two guys. And it's like, who's going to step up for them in the outfield? They've been looking for left-handed bats. Lou Perfido comes over. Cam Smith is a guy, too. They're like, they really like this guy, Zach Cole. So, like, there is kind of some new names that's trying to make a name for themselves at the big league level. But I think when I look at the team, like, it's like the band is back together with Altuve and Correa and Pena, and now Alvarez is back, and we're even getting, like you said, Lance McCullers. Like, it feels like we're getting that team again. I know some of the names have changed, but I believe in the roster, man. I believe in the organization. I truly do. So I'm pretty optimistic about the Astros. And I don't think a lot of people are.
They're flying under the radar. They're flying under the radar. And I think it's because this pitching staff has gone over what feels like a quick MLB overhaul. Framber was the guy coming from the Verlander, coming from Cole. McCullers, but he's had such an injury history at this point. That Hunter Brown has now taken over that staff. And then everyone else is kind of a delightful question mark. Like, Mike Burrows, he kind of established himself in the show. He's going to Houston. What's that going to feel like? Tatsuya Amai. He's coming over to the show. What's that? But they're all exciting ones. Like, these are all guys I'd like to have on my team, and I think every other team would like to have on their team, just to be like, there could be something in there. That I think that's where I have slightly more question marks, just because the offense is going to be something. Like, at a certain point, the baseball cards are the guys that show up in the top half of that lineup in a good spot, in a good situation. You're going to respect who they are. That I think it's just going to be what kind of effort that they get out of their pitching day in, day out. And it could be high end. And then, we're talking about a team that could compete to win the AL West.
100%. There's question marks in the starting pitching, and that's usually where I go when I'm like looking at how this team is going to fare. Hunter Brown's still a dog; he's still an ace, so you have that at the top of the line or top of the rotation. Then there are obviously question marks. We've seen Christian Javier do it. We've seen that happen. Some of the quotes about Amai are pretty eye opening. I know it's spring training, a lot of optimism around there, but we have to see him. We got to see Weiss. I guess Burrows has to prove it more, but I like what I see. So, like, right now with kind of just the eye test, and yes, does everything kind of guys have to stay healthy? Yeah, that's every single team. So you don't really have to say that. 6-man rotations, obviously interesting. I mean, it just puts some more pressure on some of these guys. You got to do it because Amai's coming back over, and they're kind of used to that. I wonder if they end up getting rid of that by the season's end. But yeah, you're right. I mean, I think the offense is going to be there. I like the bullpen. It's basically, what are we going to get out of Houston is what are the 2 through 5 guys? What do they look like? Right? That's kind of the gist of their season. Yeah. And that you could talk me into it at the bar. You could talk me out of it at the bar. It's just going to be interesting to see how it feels. And Jordan and Pena, man. Like, Jeremy Pena broke out last year. He missed a little bit of time where his numbers would have landed. And then Jordan missed a lot of time, just never got going. And even when he was out there, wasn't there. And it's like, what is it? Altuve turns 36 this year. It's his 15th year, man. It's crazy. It's crazy. And like you said, Correa, are we going to have to talk about injury stuff with him? Again, we don't have to do this with the whole roster. It's just, this is the pivot year. Like, if Houston's back, it's kind of like, oh yeah, they were hurt last year. Like, I'm looking at their AAA rotation right now, and I'm like, I watched a lot of these guys pitch. Like, they dug deep. Like Arrighetti, Jason Alexander, like Colton Gordon. Like, they had to dig into the reserve last year.
that, again, does that mean they have really good depth now? I don't know. Are we ready for the OU?
I would like to guess. I have not looked at it yet. I'm guessing it's around the 84 range.
The Houston Astros over-under for the 2026 season is 86.5. So Vegas is in.
They know.
And how do they always know?
86.5.
That's a little higher than I thought.
Yeah. That's a lot of wins there, Coach.
Because as you know, I think the listeners are probably getting used to it. Like we had some spunk about this team, but that's the most real number we've seen so far.
In that division, you love this division. There's some good teams. The Texas Rangers can be a good team. The Mariners are a good team.
Like, you could just have a miserable week, dude. If you go to Oakland and those guys just hit 15 homers off your pitching staff, and then you go to the Texas Rangers and they throw up zeros, like, you could just have a horrible week. I know you can do that with a lot of teams, but 86.5, excuse me.
They won 87 last year in what seemed like just a crap year for them. Prior to that, 2024, 88, 90 in 23, 106 in 22, 95 in 21. Those are different teams. All right, I'm ready.
Okay. In 3, 2, 1, under. Okay. Yeah. God darn it. That
was a good line.
Thank you. That's a good line.
I was expecting it to be a little bit lower, and I was going to spam the over button.
I like
86 wins gets you into the playoffs. Did it last year?
I like the offense. I like the offensive depth.
86 wins did not get you in the playoffs last year.
Yeah. I'm a little worried about the age of the infield, and when I say that, I'm also factoring just how weird Correa's injury stuff was at one point. They're like Altuve, Christian Walker, Correa. I don't know. I don't know. And like again, where there can be a lot of optimism with that pitching staff, there could be a little bit of pessimism. So I think the line got us there. I was also expecting like an 83.5 and an over.
There's a world where this team wins 93 games. So if you're Houston, tell us, if you're a Houston fan, that's fine. You can tell us to shut up.
This is the best team. I think this is the best team we've looked at so far. And obviously our people had the rankings. At number 13, it is the Baltimore Birdies. They went 75 and 87 last year. Ew. The worst start in MLB history. Check that. And they were bad on every front, Coach. 24th in runs scored, 24th in starting pitching ERA, 25th in relief pitching ERA. The defensive metrics were bottom 10. This team, they didn't have the sauce last year. They've retooled. They also lost. Out of town, Sugano. Go see him in the Rocky Mountains this year. Gary Sanchez, Jorge Mateo, couple Yankee farm hands. Gray Rod traded away, former top prospect. Cade Stroud, Ciano Perez, always liked him. Didn't click last year. Dylan Carlson, Cade. Did I say Cade Stroud in that Arizona bullpen? Watch out. Trev, who came home to beautiful Baltimore?
A lot of people are now living in Baltimore. Yeah. They've made the trek. Baltimore, the Bay Area, beautiful. I always like going to Baltimore. Pete Alonso, big one. Your friend.
Yeah.
Polar Bear Pete. 5 years, $155 million comes over from the Mets. That 38 Jimmy Jacks last year. This guy's a threat to hit 40 to 50 every single year. Love that for them. How about, hey, we want to get somebody in the back end of our bullpen. Oh, Ryan Helsley's there. 2 years, 28. He's got an opt-out after the first year. But he was in St. Louis and New York last year. Chris Bassett is there to help with the starting rotation. Love this signing. 1 year, 18.5, comes over from Toronto. There's no T. second tee in Toronto. I know that. Leota Tavares, 1 year, 2. He debuted in 2020. I thought it was before that, Jake. We were talking before the show about that. They also made a bunch of trades and brought some guys that will definitely impact this season. Shane Baz comes over from Tampa, a guy who they're going to rely on in this rotation. A 31 game started last year to a 4.87. I think he's a little bit better than that. Taylor Ward comes over in that Grayson Rodriguez trade. 2025, 36 Jimmy Jacks, 116 OPS plus there. He's a banger. I remember when Taylor Ward was doing it with the Angels. We're like, who is this guy? And he just like kind of continued to do it. Like the swing. Blaze Alexander, my Instagram friend, comes over on a trade from Arizona. Probably going to be thrust into some playing time with Jackson Holiday in the hamate bone. Andrew Kittredge, another guy, back in the bullpen. Love that. Came over from Chicago. Jackson Cower, a guy that was in Minnesota. Oh, no, excuse me. He was Seattle last year, was with Minnesota, then got traded. That's what it is.
Yeah.
Big Christmas is here. Yakensky Noel and Weston Wilson, another friend of mine, also comes over off of waivers. Tyro Estrada, minor league deal. Sam Huff, minor league deal. That's a lot of people, dude.
Yeah.
Not every guy's going to be on the roster, but dang, they brought in a lot because they needed a lot, Coach. Tell me about the rotation in the bullpen.
I will tell you, Trevor Plouffe, that there's another Trevor. Theme of the episode, Trevor Rogers might be leading the way on Trevor's right now. What he did the second half of the season. Kyle is being Bradish in that 2-hole. Chris Bassett and Shane Baz. That's something for you. Young man in the sea. Not that. That's not real. Zach Eflin. Dean Kremer. We got some depth here. Cade Povich, that Max Fried doppelganger, and Chase McDermott. Hoping to get a look this year. On the back end, Helsley has the closer gig. Kittredge, Kagan Eichen. Yenier Cano looking to find Enrico Garcia. Tyler Wells, I like him. And Dietrich Enns from the left side. Felix out for the year again, we think. We hate that. Jackson Coher, like you mentioned. That's the pitching staff. Trev, we kind of jumped the hitters. Why don't you tell me about the lineup? Build it for me.
I didn't do the lineup?
No, you were excited.
That's incredible. What am I doing?
You were excited.
I got excited. All right. The lineup according to Fangraphs. Gunnar Henderson at the top playing shortstop. Taylor Ward out there in left field. Pete Alonso at first base. Adley Rushman. I'm going to talk about him a little bit. At catcher, Dylan Beavers in right field. Colton Cowser in center field. Kobe Mayo at third base. Samuel Basayo got that deal already at DH / catcher. And then Blaze Alexander, like I said, probably thrust into some playing time with Jackson out. Jackson Holiday out with the hamate surgery. He's going to return early April. Jordan Westberg has a partially torn elbow ligament. He's looking to get back in early May. On the bench, Jeremiah Jackson, Ryan Mountcastle. Tyler O'Neill figures to be in there. Like, I know last year wasn't great, but this guy has the power and the potential to really change that offense. Leota Tavares. Also, Heston Kjerstad. I mentioned Big Christmas, Weston Wilson. Those guys will be in play at some point this year as well. That's the lineup. Sorry I missed that.
It's all right. It was still beautifully done. And I want to stay with the lineup, so maybe that segue works perfectly, Trev. And it's time for our new segment, Who's Going to Deliver? A big question for this team, presented by Amazon. Just like how Amazon is there to save the day when you're in a pinch, let's talk about the player who's going to step up and save their team when it matters most. Trev, I'm going behind the dish, man. It's Adley Rushman. This guy was becoming the face, one of the faces of baseball. The young Baltimore Orioles that had done this rebuild and were set to go. He tackled Christian McCaffrey in college. Top prospect. Behind a switch-hitting catcher. Silly guy on social media. He wore that shirt to the All-Star game.
Oh, the shirt. We talked about that being a pivot point.
It seemed like 2022, it was a great start. 2023, it was really solid. 24, after that All-Star game, it started to fall apart. And last year, a 673 OPS. Now, he's had some oblique injuries, which you are the expert on this program. Man, I hope that's what it was, and we could put it all behind us. Because this guy, I can't believe that it's just gone.
So what he's been talking about basically the entire spring training was that I just want to be healthy. I want to be out there. That's the main crux of all his quotes are that he feels good, and he attributes a lot of the downturn in his offensive game to that. And look, obliques suck, dude. Like they're involved in everything. Said it a million times on this show. Always been a better hitter from the right side. He has started doing a little bit of different things with his left-handed swing. I was listening to an interview. He said he wants to feel a little bit more athletic. And what do you do when you want to feel more athletic, Jake? I've told you this a million times.
Yoga. Pilates.
No, you stand more upright.
Oh.
Yeah. Oh. He felt like he was getting stuck. So a little crouched down there. Hands were a little lower and closer to his body. So he didn't have a lot of room to work. So he's got a little bit higher up, which makes you just feel looser and more athletic. And he wants his hands away from his body so that back elbow is kind of like not stuck behind his body, causing him to be rotational. Hands a little bit farther away, upright, so he got a better path to the ball. He can stay through the ball. Think about Albert Pujols, the bat getting in the zone, staying for a long time. That's what he's trying to do. Not necessarily be Albert Pujols. I mean, that's a beautiful swing, but the right-handed swing's always been better.
Be Albert Pujols.
Did you see Albert Pujols working with Fernando Tatis Jr.? That's pretty cool.
Like that.
So, yeah, I mean, look, he's getting Adley back to the offensive threat that he had been is big for this team. But it's basically just like everybody, let's have a bounce back year, right? I mean, there's so many guys you could talk about with that.
Yeah. And hey, thanks to our partners at Amazon. Shop Amazon, save on essentials, and save the everyday. And yeah, man, that's where this Baltimore one's really tricky, Coach, because I honestly love I like the talent last year. The pitching staff just gave out to start. And then, honestly, you have to fade it the other way a little bit with how good Trevor Rogers was. By WAR, he had the best left-handed pitching season in Baltimore Orioles history. He pitched half a year. So that's, in a way, you have to dock him for that. Otherwise, just get your Trevor Rogers Cy Young stock ready to go. But, I don't know, man. Everyone just has to be better. And when you say that about a team, that's a pretty tough ask. As we've done all of these, that's just not how this sport works. But I don't know. So many of these guys should be better.
So yeah, I mean, the guys that were on the team last year need to be better, but Pete Alonso coming over is going to help. Yeah. Taylor Ward coming over is going to help. I mean, those guys alone right there are going to give you 60 homers at least. Add 60 homers to the lineup.
That helps.
There. That helps a lot. So look, they knew they needed to make major moves, and they did it. We can't go through a TVP and not just mention the fact that Pete Alonso is a game-changing offensive player. Like he is. And Gunnar Henderson is going to be Gunnar Henderson. You got a 6-WAR player every year with Gunnar Henderson. So you got your core. There's a bunch of core guys there that are going to be fine. And you just threw Taylor Ward and Pete Alonso onto the fire, man. I'm big on a bounce back year. I think they did a good job addressing basically everything, man. They did the lineup. They bring in Bassett and Boz to go along with Trevor Rogers. The rotation got fixed. The back end of the bullpen, they bring in Halsey. They did a little bit of everything. So I'm expecting a lot out of the Orioles this year. Tough division, but they're going to be better than they were last year.
Yeah, and who's the prospect that could change an entire outlook? Samuel Basayo, like a little baby Devers look to him. If the light bulb goes on for him this year, watch out, and let's see what that looks like. Yeah, man, I've hammered the table for Pete for a couple years now. His energy fits this team, right? The boys should be bopping.
What's the energy?
Water bong. Water bong energy.
It's a hose. Remember when Gibby was trying to tell us they were drinking water from a hose, they're blue color? I'm like, no, Gibby, you just don't ever do things like that. That's a beer bong.
That's not what me and Gibby saw. Okay. Yeah, I have mentally been bullish on this team as we're entering kind of the upper echelon of teams. And dude, it's hard for me to think that it ended. Like, remember how fun this team was and they like never lost a home series or whatever it was? And then it just felt like everything fell out from underneath them, whether it was Adley's performance, whether it was the pitching just fell apart. And then that Stowers breakout in Miami, it was kind of like, hey, did you guys had a couple decisions to make. Was this, but then it turned into Trevor Rogers. So I don't know. I'd like to think an offseason of adding Taylor Ward and Pete Alonso matters. You still have some guys that can absolutely click in Beavers, Kouser, and Basayo, and you should have some platoon options. Guys who haven't platooned, like Tyler O'Neill. Like in a normal year, we could, if he's healthy and playing well, he's like an all-star candidate.
Just thinking about Tyler O'Neill and Pete Alonso hitting forearms together.
Yes. More meat.
Adley, don't wear that shirt again.
Or wear it every day. Like, you kind of got to reverse the curse or something at this. Adley in that shirt and Tyler O'Neill in his original suit. I mean, I see what he was going for.
No, you don't, Jake. You don't. You're trying. You don't.
That's tough. He's a young man. He tried. I like
that he went outside the box.
He tried. And Rob, I know this is a Talking Baseball.
He's doing well for himself.
He's doing great for himself. Rob, if you have the Tyler O'Neill signature Talking Baseball picture too, that's probably a great place to land that. Trev, I guess high and tight-ish. Well, no, Baltimore pitching on the whole. Like, when you look at it, do you see a good pitching staff? Do you see I don't know.
Okay. God. Man. When I showed Harrison Bader that and he just didn't take the bait, that was tough for me. I think that's when he started hating me. That's so good. I see a good pitching staff.
Okay.
I see possibly an above average pitching staff. Now, like Chris Rose and I talked about this earlier today, like you add Framber on what's essentially a 2-year deal to this rotation, you're talking about a completely different team. But there's a lot of upside here as well. So I'm not throwing it into hey, that's just going to be whatever pitch. This has a chance to be a very good pitching staff.
Okay.
Chances are it falls in the 15 to 10 range, right?
Yeah.
I don't think it's going to be a strong point. I don't think it's going to be a weakness. I think it's just going to be a serviceable pitching staff with the occasional, great start by a few of these guys. So Framber would have changed everything. I think that will be, yeah, everything is, you got to keep an eye on with these guys. There is such, in my opinion, a very high ceiling for this team, but I think there's a certain floor here as well.
Yeah, and you wonder, when can Jackson Holiday get back? Jordan Westberg, when sometimes I look at those stats and I'm like, wait, who is this guy? Let's see when they're back and ready to do it this year. The over-under for Baltimore is, you want to guess?
Ooh, yeah. 85.
85 and a half.
Okay.
Trevor Plouffe. I'll beat you to the punch. I'm going over. I want to believe. I think that start just unraveled. I think the pitching and the injuries killed them. And how many times I've heard the nerds talk about how much homers matter? Well, you added Alonso, and the side dish was Taylor Ward that, then make that matter. And I think it will. I think they're good.
I'll take the over. I agree. I want them. Are we agreeing too much? I don't like that. I want it to work as well. They went out, addressed issues, made a couple different plays in free agency, made trades. I want them to succeed. So I can see it happening.
This is from 10 to 20. These teams have been such landmines, and we might be elevating even more, Trevor, because the number 12 team, Fernando, that was rough. The San Diego Padres, 90 wins last year, 90 and 72, the third best home record. That bullpen is what really jumps out. First in ERA, first in WHIP. The offense in the the starting pitching kind of middle of the pack-ish. And if you've been following baseball, you know the story of these Padres. They built as an electric as a baseball team. Felt like a video game with the jerseys and some of the guys they were signing and bringing in. The tone has changed a little bit, and every year it feels like they're losing a little bit more. Dylan Cease, 32 starts, 4.55 ERA, don't forget, but he's in Toronto. Robert Suarez, who was a massive part of that bullpen, he's in Atlanta now. Ryan O'Hearn and Luis Ariz, who had a lot of hitting. My guy Tyler Wade, some things can't be measured. What we bring. Nestor Cortez, Jose Iglesias, remember? Oh my God, that was crazy times. Maldonado, your guy Sean Reynolds. We gotta get him.
I think he's pitching in Japan.
Might be good. We'll see. We'll see him get $30 million in 2 years. That's who's out, Trevor. And I'm glad we saved this one because there's a lot of guys in, and a lot of it happened late.
Yeah, they brought. I mean, not a lot of impact signings. I don't think. Save a few. That the top, I think, will. Someone Song comes over from the KBO. 4 years, 15. They expect him to kind of play all over the place. But he had a really good year last year, 26 homers, 917 OPS. So you got to love that. Miguel Andujar comes over. He was with the A's in Cincinnati last year on a 1-year 4. Then a couple guys who they're like, hey, like you got to compete for, one of the last rotation spots. Griffin Canning nursing an Achilles injury, but he comes over from the Mets. Herman Marquez, who I saw pitch and actually I think shove against my Twins last year. He had a 6.7 ERA, but shoved against my Twins. 1 year, 1.75. We all know about Nick Castellanos. Yeah. And honestly, I might like this move more than anything. He fits the clubhouse vibe over here. Okay? Bunch of alphas. And then some minor league signings, man. Sheesh.
Looking for alphas? Keep going. Keep going.
Walker Buehler, who hates the ABS system. He got a lot of flack for that. Let you know what? Let people have different opinions. Yeah. What happened to that internet? Tristan McKenzie sticks. Jose Miranda, another one of my guys. Ty France, Marco Gonzalez. They also extended they re-signed, Michael King and Kyle Hart to help out with that pitching staff. So those are the guys they brought in. The lineup, I'm a looking, I'm a liking. I'm still wondering where the homers are. I just don't understand it. Xander Stammen, the new manager, has apparently been experimenting with all sorts of different lineups. So according to Fangraphs, this is what we got. Xander Bogaerts at the top. Jackson Merrill in center field, batting 2. Manny Machado at third base, hitting 3. You like it so far, Jake?
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
How about Fernando Tatis Jr. hitting 4th? How about Jake, one of our favorite big leaguers, Jake Cronenworth? Who does he like more, me or you?
Me.
No, me. Ramon Laureano, Gavin Sheets at first, Miguel Andujar DHing, Freddie Fermin catching, Luis Campusano, backup catcher or second catcher, whatever you want to say. Castellanos, Sungwoo Song, and Bryce Johnson on the bench. And again, you got guys like Alex Verdugo. I didn't even see he got signed.
Stop. Doogie's in camp with San Diego.
Is that a real thing? Okay. Ty France, Jose Miranda, Will Wagner, all these guys, will they be up at some point? Sure. That's the lineup. Again, I like it. Jake, tell me about the rotation in the bullpen.
For the Padres, Michael King, Mike King has returned at the top of the rotation. Nick Pivetta, who we thought they were going to trade away with that funky contract, but he's here. Disco Joe Musgrove back, ready to twirl it. That's a top 3. That could be a bad weekend at the ballpark. Randy Vasquez has earned his keep in that rotation as well. And then, like you talked about, that 5th spot, Herman Marquez, Whiffin Canning, Matt Waldron, your guy at some point. Who is Walker Buehler and Tristan McKenzie? Are we going to be talking about them this year? It feels like we normally do. JP Sears, I see you. In the bullpen, this is where Mason Miller, there's your 9th. Maura Hone, there's your 8th. Jason Adam, have the 7th. Estrada, why don't you snag the 6th, kid? Morgan, Wandy, Yuki, Ron Marinaccio from Team Italy, rounding out that bullpen. And, Alec Jacob with that weird arm slot, is he going to get some run? Kyle Hart. They've got options in the back end of that bullpen. Trev, the Padres have been one of the most fun teams in this program's history. Kind of them. And they sneaky. I've done this speech before. They had that one season where the expectations were massive with Soto. That was kind of the one year they've slipped up. Otherwise, they have been a really strong baseball team. I feel like every year we kind of question their depth. I haven't seen it really hurt them. And when I look at the lineup right now, you're right. The homers don't jump off the page, but I see a lot of guys. I see a lot of testosterone. Like, I see a lot of guys that are going to compete every day, every at bat.
The lineup's not the problem.
Okay.
And the lineup is good. They faltered last year in the postseason. They ended up losing in that wild card series against the Cubs. They didn't really show up there. This team won 90 games, almost chased the Dodgers down in the division. So that's not the problem. I think if I'm really thinking about the Padres, like offensively, it can feel top heavy, although I feel like they've done a decent job in kind of lengthening the lineup this year. I don't see them as a very good base running team. Some mistakes here and there on the base pass. They don't steal a ton of bases either. So we're really trying to string a bunch of hits together, which they've been able to do at times. I think this season comes down to the starting pitching. We know the bullpen's going to be there. Yeah, even losing Bobby Suarez, they're going to be a great bullpen, if not the best bullpen in baseball. It's where do the starters take you? And I actually was like initially going to say like they need like 1 and 2 Love. The rest of them after that, like it's kind of a question mark. And maybe that is the truth. Although Dalton was joking before we taped this about how Randy Vasquez is just kind of like, he's a 4-starter.
Yeah.
Like he's a locked in 4-starter. So you got that. You got King and Pivetta at the top. Can't wait to see Musgrove pitch again. We'll see what we got out of him. And then, at the back end of the rotation, we're talking guys who are just either trying to find their way back or who just haven't done it. Like Herman Marquez just has never really done it. He's played for a long time. He's been in Colorado. I understand that. But yeah. I think that'll be where we look at this team and say that's kind of the Achilles heel to me is the back end 4-5 of that rotation.
The lineup, you're right, and I mean, you're in an injury away. If you think your starting pitching's thin's coming into a season, that can be a dangerous recipe real quick. I mean, ask last year's Baltimore Orioles how that worked to start the year. The lineup could be so fun. Miguel Andujar raked last year, and right now he's slotted at the bottom of their lineup. Gavin Sheets, what he can do, in a way, the bottom half of their lineup right now, I shouldn't say jumps out more than the top half of the lineup. We got Tatis, we got Machado, and Jackson Merrill, who missed time, just had a weird year last year. Felt like the train never fully left the station after he started getting compared to Freddie Freeman, which, okay, that felt like a lot in the moment, if I'm being honest. I don't know. The Padres front office, I think, deserves some credit. I think where they've gotten this team, trying to sneak onto the other side of all their ownership drama. I think they're getting close in the Seidler family between the brothers and the wife. So, again, maybe that can add some sort of stability. Maybe they can get back to that. Because you're right, Trevor, as we've looked at, the Baltimore Orioles, as we're about to look at some other teams, I think if the Padres front office had maybe more of a stable ownership situation, their back of their rotation would look a little differently. I think you're right about that. I think they probably could have been aggressive on 1 or 2 more guys. But they're not afraid to trade prospects. The core of this team is still a very strong core that I don't know. I don't even know what I'm watching for this year. Just I guess you kind of have it with the starting pitching. That's more of a question than the lineup.
Well, I think what you're watching for is, can this team established themselves as like a premier NL team. Like they're a good National League team, but can they? I think they have enough to be, a 95 win team and like really challenge the Dodgers for the regular season. We know the Dodgers. We say this kind of half-heartedly, but I also think it's a little bit of the truth there. Like they don't really care about the regular season. But again, like they went toe-to-toe with them last year in the regular season. This team can take that next step. Homers will definitely help. Tatis, can he find the homer stroke again? Like the look, also, you have to say it, like the pre-PED suspension homer swing. Because he's hit, I think, since then as high as 25.
Yeah.
Right about that? Yeah. 23 at 25. Last year he hit 25. And last year he played 155 games. Prior to that in 2022 or 2021, 42 homers. Another freaking 15 homers out of him would surely help this team. But I look for this team if they can kind of figure out the back end of the rotation. And there's guys there. Like they can mix and match. Like Waldron's going to give you some good starts. He's just a nightmare pitcher for me to think about. I'm looking for this team to make that jump. I've believed in them so much that I've kind of like stopped believing in them. But when I look at the roster, I'm like, this team could easily win 95 games.
They can. And I guess I do remember, I feel a big part of last year's story was looking at the second half of the lineup and being like, what are we going to do down
better
here?
This year?
It's definitely better this year. A nice note by Dalt here. Could they sneaky have one of the best outfields by the end of the season? If you got Laureano, who had his best season, Jackson Merrill, if he looks like Jackson Merrill, and Fernando, you just tacked on a bonus 15 homers to his season. That'd be nice.
Castellanos.
Yes, that's a first baseman.
Defensive replacement for Tatis, right?
I think depends. I whatever Stammen wants to try out.
Do you remember when Castellanos, someone was questioning his defense, and then the next game he just went out and tried for every single ball, and he actually caught him?
Yeah, we'll make that a social clip. Bullpen, so gross. I know we touched upon it, but that's in a day of baseball where bullpens sometimes it feels like they control the game. They should have the best in the sport again.
Yes. Wasn't there talks early on in the off season about Mason Miller becoming a starter?
Yeah, I think we pushed that further than we should have.
Oh, we did.
I think so. I think they got out ahead of that, and we were still like, "Come on, man." No, we're good. We'll just have the bad man back there. Speaking of the bad man back there, all of these end with an over/under. Trev, you've been liking guessing, so
I'm going to put it at 88.5.
The over/under for the San Diego Padres is 83.5.
Whoa.
You can lock it if you want.
Smash lock over.
Smash lock over.
Yeah, I'm in. Because guess what, dude? They still have AJ Preller. They still have him. They extended him.
Yeah.
Yeah, I like it.
Peacocking around camp, AJ Preller. The line feels a little off.
That's a trap. That's a trap line. That's what you say in the gambling world. It's a trap line. And I am getting trapped.
This team just feels better than that. How old is Ethan Salas now? He's 19. Okay, let's get him. Let's call him up. Oh.
You're trying to be smart here.
Pivetta was really good last year.
Yeah. They won 90 games last year.
Musgrove is back. Yeah, I think we're disrespect. That line's a little disrespectful. I'll go with the over. No need to be proud on that one. Oh boy, our last one today. This is a banger. The Atlanta Braves just missing the top 10 from the ATL. They went 76-86 last season. Losing record at home, losing record on the road, plus 500 teams, one-run games. They played so many of them, and they were 14 games under 500 in those one-run games. My goodness. The offense ended up being, top 13th, I guess I would say. And the pitching staff was below that. We know they had the injury bug. We know that this team at one point was looking like the next dynasty of baseball, and now they're not there. They lost Marcel the Bear Ozuna. He's in Pittsburgh. Pierce Johnson, banging sliders for Cincinnati. Manoah, Alexis Diaz, Nick Allen. Rake Fraley, Dane Dunning, which arm is it? Jared Kelnick. Charlie Morton retired a Brave. Snaps for the Salt Man. Trev, who'd the Bravos bring in?
They brought in some really, really important pieces here because as we record this, we found out today that Jerkson Profar is suspended for the entire season for PEDs. And let me tell you something, that is, it pisses me off. Because people got on me talking about him taking that, and it's a brotherhood, and you got the big season, then you get popped, and he gets the money. It makes me really mad, man. It makes me really, really mad because you're taking that money out of somebody else's pocket that's doing it the right way. I could go on and on about it. People know how I feel. I try to do my best to separate people from sometimes their actions, but I just, it's one thing that I don't like. But the reason I bring that up, well, because it's important to the lineup because he's not going to be there, is they signed Mike Yastrzemski, man.
Yeah.
2 years, 23. He was in San Francisco and Kansas City last year, 109 OPS plus. He'll slot right into the outfield. So, that seems like a miracle signing for them. Bobby Suarez, you mentioned, came over from the Padres, 3 years, 45. One of the better relief pitchers in the game. And here he is in your bullpen. You got to love that. Ha-Seong Kim, 1 year, 20. We really, really love this signing. He's on the IL. We'll see how did he slip on ice?
I don't know if I have the Ha-Seong Kim story.
Bobby, check that out. I'm pretty sure he did. Maybe I'm just completely wrong here. He's supposed to man shortstop, not going to be there right away. Jonah Heim comes over on a 1 year, $1.25 million deal to back up Drake Baldwin because Sean Murphy is dealing with some stuff right now. Jorge Mateo, 1 year, $1 million. You love Jorge Mateo. I think I love him.
Nice.
Danny Young, split contract there, relief pitcher from the Mets. Mauricio Dubon comes over in that Nick Allen trade from Houston. And then some minor league deals of note: Martin Perez, Kyle Farmer, Ben Gamble, James Karinchak, Dom Smith, Javi Guerra, Chadwick Trump. A lot of minor league guys there. They signed Chris Sale to an extension, 1 year, $27 million. They re-signed Raisel Iglesias, 1 year, $16 again for that bullpen. Tyler Kinsley, they re-signed him. Joel Payamps re-signed him 1 year, 2.25 as well, which brings me to the lineup. And I got to be honest with you, you got to like the lineup if they're healthy. Ronnie Acuna Jr. at the top. Drake Baldwin, who's just kind of turning into one of these guys that probably underrated. Nobody talks about Drake Baldwin. He's an absolute stud. He'll be behind the dish. Matt Olson at first base. Not dating your daughter. No. That's over. That joke is over.
It ended.
Austin Riley at third base. Mike Yastrzemski, left field. Ozzie Albies at second. Michael Harris Deuce in center field. Dom Smith. We don't know who the DH is going to be. We will see. This is all shaking out just today as we're recording this. We'll put him at the DH position for now. Mauricio Dubon slots in there at shortstop for Kim. Jonah Heim on the bench. Jorge Mateo, Eli White, Brett Wisely. Those are the guys that'll be on the bench. And some names to watch. Like I said, my guy Kyle Farmer's there. He'll find some big league at-bats at some point this season. Jake, tell us about the rotation in the bullpen.
Man, in that lineup, a couple lefty mashers like Austin Slater, Randall Grichuk just signed. I feel like, if they knew that Profar news a week ago, would that have changed something? In the rotation, hey, Chris Sale. He's been back. Spencer Strider. Let's go. Reynaldo Lopez, Grant Holmes, Bryce Elder. Again, this is a group that's just been hit by injury. Spencer Schwellenbach. AJ Smith-Shaver, Hurston Waldrop. Might see some Martin Perez and Joey Wentz getting it. In that bullpen, Raisel Iglesias, Robert Suarez, Dylan Lee, and Aaron Bummer from the left side. Kinley, Piamps, Ian Hamilton. And then, we'll see who else slots in for them. Dylan Dodd, Karen Chack. Is he going to come back? Couple other options out there. Trev, this is another team where, last year in our power rankings, they came in 5th. They were looked at as one of the elites in the National League. And everything fell apart on them. Acuna missed a lot of time. The pitching staff missed a lot of time. That shortstop position, I feel like, has been a thorn in this franchise's side for a couple years now. That I don't know. I get worried you and I are going to talk about injury, and I don't want to do that. I don't know. I got lost.
They're already dealing.
I know they're already back in it.
So Ha-Seong Kim, pat on my back, did slip on some ice in Korea. What were you doing? There's shoes out there. Get some Solomons or something like that.
Can't brace the fall. You gotta.
I'm actually going to the snow soon, so I need to knock on wood. That's not me.
Yeah.
Not making fun of anybody.
No.
Yeah, I mean they're already dealing with injuries to the rotation, which could have had a ton of depth. And now we're talking Schwellenbach had elbow surgery. June return. AJ Smith-Shaver, Tommy John last year. So August return. We'll see. What do you get out of that? Hurston Waldrop, elbow surgery, return in June. So what goes from a point of strength now is okay, well, we got to hang on because this is what happened last year to this team, Jake. I mean, just last year they used 19 different pitchers to start. 19. So there's not a lot of innings that were pitched last year that are back. So they're kind of battling that monster where hey, you had guys not pitch a lot last year. You want to ease them back in. Was a 6-man rotation feasible for this team? Probably. And now I don't know if they can do that with the lack of options there. So it starts there. Got to keep everybody healthy. When you look at the offense, I feel like you're just they're fine. They have a powerhouse of an offensive team. Again, need to stay healthy.
Austin Riley, what's going on there, man? He was originally, he was kind of our show's big dumper before big dumper. A 1.3 B-WAR last year. That just doesn't feel like who he is as a ball player. Michael Harris, a tale of 3 seasons, and 2 of those seasons were really tough. Is Drake Baldwin a young star of the game? I mean, think about some of the other guys we're talking about in this lineup, and now Drake Baldwin might be their 2-hole protect Ronnie Acuna. If he is, great, because Acuna, Baldwin, Matt Olson, Austin Riley, all of it should make sense. Chris Sale had a 2.58 ERA last year. Strider should be so much better. The Schwellenbach one's pretty tough. I feel like he was the guy a lot of Braves people had circled as we might have a big 3 this year. That one getting chopped out from under them early just hurts a little bit. It just feels like everything should be, it's the same speech for the Baltimore Orioles, a team I liked similarly last year, that it's everything has to get a little bit better. And in the baseball scope, that can happen. You start feeling summer, you got a new manager. Ronald Acuna's playing every day. Strider gives you Cy Young stuff every 5th day. That can feel a lot different. Yeah, the preseason injuries and the Profar news dropping today, it just feels like it makes your shoulders drop. You're just God damn it, really? Again?
Because they've constructed a nice roster. And really, I mean, you don't have to dig too deep. I think the whole season relies on these guys just staying on the field. Austin Riley dealt with a lot of stuff last year. If he had a healthy offseason, is he going to be back? I'd bank on it, man. Acuna dealing with so much stuff last year with his legs. healthy offseason? Is he going to be back? Like, I'd bank on it. So like that to me, I mean, that is their season. Braves fans will tell you the exact same thing, man. It just never happened last year because they were bit by that bug. And it seems like they've already got it started this year. I hate to put that on them already, but they still have enough right now. If it stops right now, if the injury bug goes away, get some, bug repellent on this team, like they still have enough right now to be a very, very good baseball team.
Man, there's a couple stats that have jumped out. Braves relief pitchers allowed an OPS of 846 with runners in scoring position. That was the second highest in MLB, only to the Rockies. Like, what the hell is that? And then, yeah, I like when the baseball people that try to quantify everything can't quantify something. One-run games is just year in, year out. It doesn't the better the team you are, the better it kind of helps, but also it just doesn't. 21-35. Like, I rarely remember seeing teams having that many one-run games. And again, you can't necessarily just flip it. That's not how baseball works. But if you did, I mean, the Braves would have been like one of the best teams in baseball. So if you're looking for optimism, I would look at those one-run games, and you have to hope the health meter lands on a better side this year.
Acuna was a -11 OAA last year. He stole 9 bases.
Yeah.
Like, just add a healthy season of Acuna, and yeah, that's another, how many wins? Like, those one-run games, what does his defense mean in those? What do the stolen bases mean in those? So like I'm big time bounce back. I know it seems like, oh, here we go again. And I know a lot of Braves fans are feeling that, but again, like I think if we can slow everything down and just keep these guys on the field, like it is a powerhouse team. It is a powerhouse team. They have everything that you need.
I know. This section of teams, I've been loving these groupings because, like, the Orioles, it's a lot of copy and paste. The Astros, like, without the failures of those two teams, there's a lot of similar, like, rhythms to them. I have the over-under, Trevor, please.
Spencer Strider, let's go, man.
Let's go, Spencer Strider, right? Let's go. Do you have an over-under win total?
I guess.
Yeah.
Man, I'm gonna put them pretty high because I know a lot of the projection systems like that. I'm gonna put them at an 89.5.
88.5.
Okay.
88.5. So that would be a 12-win improvement year over year. Yeah, they won 76 games last year.
God, the Phillies are good. The Mets, Jolly says, are going to win the whole damn thing.
Right? Never said it into a mic. Said it this year. Those fish battle.
88 wins is the under. You go first.
Oh, thank you. This is tricky because I've been recently sprinkling like Ronald Acuna MVP. Like if Ohtani were to not exist.
2024, Jake, 89. 2023, 104. 2022, 101. It was just last year. I'm taking the over. Give me like the Braves in the 90s just go together. Give me a 90-win Braves team.
Braves in the 90s. It's the highest over-under. I'm a little freaked out by that.
Orioles listen to that song a lot.
Oh.
98 Braves by Morgan Wallen.
Know where it was our last night.
Just bumping on the Orioles.
I'll go under, and I regret it.
Peter Moylan.
I love Peter Moylan. I like the talent. I'm just getting worried. With all the injuries and everything. I hope I regret it a little bit. Shortstop still continuing to be a weird spot for them. Michael Harris too, like, actually broke my heart last year, which is just weird. Not a Braves, just as someone who loves center field and loves Money Mike. Like, I don't know. It should work. it should work. Unfortunately, I'm playing the number on this one. So, wow.
Second half Money Mike is a guy.
Yeah.
845 OPS. Just saying.
Season was over. I like the Braves. I don't know. I hope that's my worst pick. I have more worst picks for the people coming up. Our last 5-teamer. We're gonna start zooming in a little more on these teams for you people as we get into the top 10. Shout out to Coach Trev, juggling his weightlifting schedule. Rob Sirocco, Dalton Feely. What a document. Look at that. We'll be back. We love you guys. Baseball's almost here.
I look good.